Okay, I hope it stabilizes, ladies and gentlemen. As I set up, here I am. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the week 2 of ERT, week 9 of the semester. We're going to be looking at the, 3 sections more or less: 10.4, 10.5, and 17.1. 10.4, 10.5 are finishing on discrete mathematics. Then chapter 17, as you can see, is actually complex analysis. You already have the book. I hope everyone has access. We only need to look at chapter 17 and 18 and that's it. Okay? So straight away we go into our lecture so that our video is not too long. So, we're going to look at one, what you call Euler paths and circuits, and two, Hamiltonian paths and circuits. The main distinction of these two is just for Euler path corresponds to edges and circuits. Hamiltonian corresponds to vertices. So, definition: an Euler circuit in a graph G is a simple circuit containing every edge of the graph G. And a path, an Euler path in G, is a simple path containing every edge. Okay, it's a path, so paths normally don't have to be circuits. Okay, so example number 1. Which of the undirected graphs above are these two, and below this one have an Euler path? Well, now, Euler path, we've said that we are able to access a path that you can go through all the edges of the graph, okay, without repetition. It's a simple graph. So, the first example here, first graph is here. Is it possible to go through all the edges without repeating? And the answer is yes, it's possible. So if you start like this, D, you go to C, you go to E, you go to A, you go to B, you've covered all the edges. That's true. The vertices, the edges. So this is one edge, another edge you've covered, another edge, and then you come back. So there you have. So the first graph has a circuit. You're able to go and come back and cover all the edges. This is another example. The second and the third graphs have no Euler circuits. Well, this graph, if you try Euler circuits, you will repeat, and it's not supposed to be repetition. Well, you will not be able to cover some of the edges. For instance, if you start like this, if you go A, B, E, D. Now you see, to go, then you can go here. E, you can go this way, C. You will have to repeat, okay? And you're not allowed to repeat. So anyway, the second and third graphs have no Euler circuits. Well, this one has no Euler circuit. But this one has an Euler path. So the Euler path will basically be, you start from A, you go to C, you go to D, you go to E, you go to B, you go to D, you go to A, you go to B. That is a path that covers every edge. Now, we've done mostly like manual labor. We're just walking. But do we have some nice criteria or theorem that helps you to determine whether a graph has an Euler circuit or a path? And the answer is yes. But before we go there, this is more like a remark, just a summary for you to remember. Euler paths or circuits, this computer is wasting our time. So, Euler paths or circuits are optimal paths. Optimal means that they pass through the edges exactly once, no repetition. And then by counting the number of vertices of a graph and their degrees, we can determine if the graph has an Euler path or an Euler circuit. So, we have two theorems here. One, a connected multigraph with at least two vertices has an Euler circuit, even only if each of its vertices has an even degree. So basically for circuit, you need minimum two vertices and that all the vertices have degree, even degree, okay? Even degree means 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on like that, okay? And then theorem number 2, this one is for path. So the same connected multigraph with at least two vertices has an Euler path, even only if it has exactly two vertices of odd degree. So here you need even degree, all of them, for circuit, and for path you need vertices, two vertices of odd degree. Now, what happens for, here we said multigraph. What happens if the graph is not a multigraph? It's simple. Well, then in that case, we relax the results a bit, and we will relax them here. But here I just give you a remark that says, an Euler path is a path that uses every edge with no repetition. We're just repeating ourselves. And a circuit uses every edge with no repetitions. Then a proposition here now about a A graph will contain an Euler circuit if all the vertices are of even degree. Well, you see here we've relaxed the result a little bit, because here we're saying even only if, but then it has to be a multigraph. If it is not like a simple graph, then we just say if, not even only if. We just need all the vertices to be of even degree. And then here, a graph will contain an Euler path if it contains at most two vertices of odd degree. Well, again, here we've relaxed also. If you look at the theorem here, it's multigraph and we have even only if. But here we just need if, because now it applies for simple graphs. Example, well, here you have example number 4 that says, which of these graphs have an Euler path? Well, graph 1, graph 2, graph 3. Now, we can just look at it without even looking at the stories I tell you about solutions. Now, this graph, does it have an Euler path? For a path, what do you need? This is a simple graph. For a path, you need odd degree, at least two vertices. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So here, this one has two vertices of odd degree. Therefore, it has an Euler path. That's what you will say in the future. So first graph, the square lookalike has two vertices of 4 degrees, so it has an Euler path. Well, Euler path, now you can find it once you are there already. So the Euler path, we just need to cover the edges. So if you start from D, you've covered that edge. You cover this edge. You cover this edge. You cover this edge. You cover that edge. That's a path, right? An Euler path. It covers all the edges. Then the second graph, this one has degree 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. These are odd degrees. I mean, they are all of them actually, well, not. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can see it has more than two vertices of odd degree, and that's what you say here. More than two vertices, it has to have two vertices of odd degree. Therefore, it cannot have an Euler path. Okay. And then the last one here, what do you have? Degree 2, degree 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Degree 4, 1, 2, 3. Degree 3, 1, 2, degree 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, degree 4. So we have even and odd degrees. This is odd degree 3. This is odd degree 3. So this graph must have an Euler path. And so we can find it. So what would be the Euler path here? Well, I've given you, but I can just say, let's see, we try to get it. Now we know it exists, we can find it. So we can say A, where do we start from? Maybe we can start from B. Okay, B, C. Remember, we need to go through, we need a path that passes through A, covers all these lines. Okay? So, the criteria, by the way, you start from the odd degree vertex, either here or here. Then you'll find it easy. So, B, C. Now, I could go this way or this way or this way. So, B, C, F, D, E, F, G, C. No, don't come down to C. C is not good because we will repeat. We don't want to repeat. So, you go to B, you go to A, and then you go to G. Or, pay attention, okay? You can go from B to C to G, hopefully you will remember, to F, to E, to D, to F, to C. Have we covered this one? I'm getting confused. Sorry. The second graph has, well, so we've said the second graph, this one has no Euler path or circuit. The third graph has exactly two vertices of 1 degree, B and D. And so it has an Euler path. For example, now you can find it. The one I gave you. This one or this one, etc. No Euler circuit. Why does this graph have no Euler circuit? This one? Because you must have all the vertices being of even degree. Remember? So, and then here you have 2, you have 3, so no, it doesn't work. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's start about Euler circuits and Euler paths. Now we look at Hamiltonian paths. And then Hamiltonian paths are basically now, if you cover all the vertices of a graph without repetition, then if it's a path, it becomes Hamiltonian path. If it's a circuit, it's a Hamiltonian circuit. So the definition says a simple path in a graph G that passes through every vertex exactly once is called a Hamiltonian path. A Hamiltonian circuit is a simple circuit in the graph that passes through every vertex exactly once. So what we've just done previously about edges, this one is now about vertices. So now some remarks here. Hamiltonian, well, so the Hamiltonian path visits every vertex once with no repetition. This is the same thing I'm saying here. Eh? And then the circuit visits every vertex exactly once with no repetition. And third important point is, unlike Euler paths and circuits, we do not have a nice criteria or theorem about determining whether we can find the paths, Hamiltonian paths or circuits. So, examples. Which of these graphs have Hamiltonian circuit or path? Actually, for Hamiltonian path and circuits it's easier because all you're doing is just covering the points without repeating them. Edges are harder. Look at this. You need to cover all the vertices for a Hamiltonian. I mean, if you can go back round, then you'll have a circuit. So, how do we do that? So, if you start from A, you can go to B, you can go to C, you can go to D, you can go to E, you can go back to A, actually. So, what is that? It's a Hamiltonian circuit. Here, you have a Hamiltonian path. You go from U to V to W to X, for example. You've covered all the vertices, or you can go this way. You've covered all the vertices, it's a Hamiltonian path. Here, you do not have such a Hamiltonian circuit. Do you have a Hamiltonian path? Well, let's see. You will go this way. You just need all the vertices, okay? So if you start this way, then you will go back. So this one doesn't have. So anyway, the first graph, the pentagonal lookalike, that pentagonal lookalike, has a Hamiltonian circuits. The examples I've given you. The second graph has no Hamiltonian circuit, but has Hamiltonian paths. The third graph has neither Hamiltonian path nor circuit. So, before now we conclude on this, the criteria basically is to, some kind of criteria to determine no Hamiltonian path or circuit is actually circuit, is this, that a graph with a vertex of degree 1 cannot have a Hamiltonian circuit. Because once you go to that vertex, you cannot come back. And then a Hamiltonian circuit that cannot have a smaller, Hamiltonian circuit cannot have a smaller circuit within it. So we conclude that with this example. Here you have a vertex of degree 1. So if you are looking for covering all the vertices, either pathwise or circuit. A circuit means you need to go and come back. So if you start from E going around, you'll have to come back through here. If you start anywhere else, once you get to E, you'll have to come back. So this cannot have a Hamiltonian circuit because it has a vertex of degree 1. And then here you have a smaller circuit and a smaller circuit. So here you cannot have a Hamiltonian circuit because, well, you will have to repeat the vertex. If you start here, you go like this, you go like that, you go like that, you go like that. To go back, because it has to be a circuit, you will have to repeat this. Therefore, this also satisfies this criterion. Okay? That is that, ladies and gentlemen. I want to cut the video short. So planar graphs we'll do in the next video. See you. Take care.